Hi everybody, welcome back to the Wonder of Anime YouTube channel, and we are back with another end of the year video, my part 2 of my top 10 anime of 2024. If you haven't seen part 1, there will be a link in the video there, and this is the second part, which contains my 5 through 1 listing of my favorite anime of 2024. As I mentioned in the first video, this is a very loose ranking because I don't really like ranking anime against each other, especially because my anime tastes are just so very different. But for the sake of fun, for the sake of the video, we are ranking. Now, this is an unscripted video off the top of the dome, why I love these anime, so you'll see what you get. So let's get into it. Number 5 is a Chinese animation, a donghua called Jiao, also known as Addiction. It is one that I already talked about, so I'll be sure to link that video up here as well as in the show notes. But I loved it. This is the animation that I'm not sure when it came out. I'm pretty sure it was not 2024, but I watched it this year, and it is a BL story, although it may not be marketed like that in some places, but Big acknowledges this is a BL. The promotion for this is BL, depending on the market. And it was just a great story. It was interesting to me because I've recently been getting into manhwas, which are Chinese comics, and same as donghua, Chinese animation. Like, this is all new for me. So I'm learning a lot about Chinese culture specifically, and their honorifics and their family systems and their relationship systems. So watching this animation, I was thoroughly entertained. I really liked it. I was learning a lot, and the story is a very sweet story. Once you get kind of past the newness and the differentness of what you're used to, I really enjoyed it. Number 4 on my list for anime of the year. Actually, I was surprised that I even liked this anime at all because it is so different from anything that I would like. And for face value, this does not seem like something I would be interested in. And that is Windbreaker. If you are surprised, you probably didn't watch the anime. Because if you watched the anime, you would have seen why I ended up liking it so much. I'm not a fighting anime person. I don't like violence. Like, if it needs to happen, like in Demon Slayer or something like that, I get it. But overall, I don't like fighting. But Windbreaker has this fighting in the universe that makes sense, and really what really matters is the relationships and the characters. And I just was so surprised at how much they are able to put this really heartwarming story on these like high school kids that have to fight to resolve problems. And the main character, Sakura, he just ends up being this tsundere character that is so fun to watch, and I love him navigating relationships, and that sold me. Him trying to make friends, all these students that are just like this ragtag group. Everybody makes sense and everybody looks out for each other, and it's not this top-down system that Sakura thinks it is. You got me. I'm sold, and I cannot wait for season 2. Number 3 on this list, you may already be familiar with because I also did a YouTube video on this series, and that is Demon Prince of Momochi House. I really like this anime. I made a video talking about if you watch the anime, if you should read the manga. Highly suggest checking that out. Be sure to link it up here. And I really liked the anime. The anime pushed me to read the manga, which I loved even more. I think the anime does a great job of introducing you to the story, and they end it in a way where if the series ends, if they never pick another season, because you know this is a shoujo, so do we ever get seasons 2? Not really. So if they don't get a second season, like, I feel like it has a satisfying enough ending. But if you are a manga reader, if the story hooks you, then you have a whole series to jump into. And I highly recommend reading the series from the first volume all the way to the end, because they do change the order of some of the events to make it make more sense in the anime. But I really like the series. I feel like it encompassed a lot of my favorite shoujo tropes from early 2000s shoujo anime, especially Fruits Basket, the original animation, and His and Her Circumstances. I thought it was beautifully done, beautifully animated. The characters and the colors are amazing, and it's worth checking out. Number 2 on my list, it makes me so excited because I really loved this anime this year, and I just can't say enough good things about it. And that is Cherry Magic. Cherry Magic, 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard. This anime was perfect for the lover girls and boys and babies. It was just amazing. It is an office rom-com between a 30-year-old virgin who gets powers that he can read people's minds, and he finds out that his coworker is in love with him via reading his mind accidentally. Chef's kiss. It was so beautifully done. The animation really, I feel like, stayed true to the manga art style, and it was just so good to see like this adult relationship taking place. And I need more. They did end it in a way that I don't think there's more, even though I believe the manga is still ongoing, or the manga is about to end. And this is one where I actually started reading the manga, and then I learned that an anime was coming out and I stopped. So I need to finish reading the manga. But it was just so good. It was just the sweetest piece of like media that I consumed, except for the number 1 pick. So I really enjoyed it, and it's one that definitely is going to be rewatched because it literally was perfect. It was just it was perfect. And there's a side couple. They just did so much, and I'm here for it. Number one, if you know me specifically offline, because I didn't really talk about this anime too much online, you already know what's going to be number 1, because this was my everything this year, and that is A Sign of Affection. I love A Sign of Affection. I have been reading the manga probably since day 1. It's up on the shelf, a couple shelves higher, so you can't see it, and I'm not about to stand up and grab them. But A Sign of Affection is one of the rare times where I've caught the manga as it started, and I read it before the anime came out. So already, I don't usually like doing that, but I can't help it. I already read it. It's like not my fault. But in the case of A Sign of Affection, it was just so well done. If you are a lover girl, a lover boy, a lover baby, anybody, you just love, this is such a sweet and tender story. And I think the anime did so much justice to bringing this manga to life. And the manga specifically, I always recommend people to read this manga. I'm usually not one of those like, go read the manga. In A Sign of Affection, I highly recommend it because there's so many author notes, and the mangaka of A Sign of Affection, Sue Morita, I think they're a group. They specifically work with members of the deaf community to make sure they are representing the deaf community and experience in Japan specifically in a good light, in a way that is a great representation and is not making like a mockery of the disability. All that to say, the anime, I feel like, took all that context from the manga and really animated it well to the best of their abilities, and it made for such a sweet and tender story. I will say, disclaimer, obviously I'm not deaf. I do have a deaf family member, but I cannot speak for the deaf community, so just keep that in mind. This is my perspective from somebody who is not a person of the deaf community. But watching it and just knowing how much love and care was put into the manga, and to see how they put that on screen, it was amazing. I love the story, and I mentioned like it wasn't one that I talked about online because I just hold it so dear. It's so precious to me. I didn't want anybody else's opinions on the story, but it really just took the cake this year, and it made me remember why I love love so much, why I love romance stories so much, why I love just giggling, laughing, kicking my feet moments where I'm blushing along with the characters. And I really hope it gets to season 2. Again, it's a shoujo, so you might not, and they end it in this like ambiguous way that you don't know if they'll ever get a season 2. But I just think it deserves it so much because there's so much more to this story, and it's good. Like, it's good. It's such a story where there's not like a lot of like ups and downs. It's like a constant of good things that are happening, but evolutions within the characters and personal growth, and I just love it so much. So of course, A Sign of Affection was going to be my number 1 pick of 2024. Thank you everyone for watching this video and joining me on my top anime of 2024, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.